We got lots of news tonight, but first we got a big topic we want to talk about. We all been playing Jedi Fallen Order, but before that, before we hop into that, I just want everyone to know I have finished Death Stranding. The game I have finished it, and I have some immediate thoughts.
How many hours did you put into that?
God, probably like 30 hours. Because I like streamlined it like the first 2 days I got it. Like I took off work for it, and that's all I did was just play Death Stranding. And then spread it out throughout my time playing it. But more or less, I'm going to give them a brief rundown now, but I hope everyone listening checks out the Lunar Castaways, because this weekend we're going to be doing like a big spoiler cast where we're just going to talk about the story and spoil it, and we're going to go a lot deeper in there. But for right now, the game is definitely not for everybody. It is a weird-ass game, but I loved every second of it. And it became more compelling as I continued to play it. And, of course, in Kojima fashion, the ending never is really the end. It literally takes... Like, you think you start seeing credits, and then the game just goes on for, like, another hour and a half. Like, it just keeps going. But overall, when I finished it, it had me in a very deep emotional state where I was pretty much crying. I was pretty much like on the verge of tears. It was really impactful.
Oh wow!
How much it was a story just really hits you. They try and really gut punch you at the end there. It's a beautiful experience, and like I really do hope people give it a try and kind of work with the systems that it puts in front of you, like those roadblocks of you just having to lug things. And like that's like the game. Like I watched after I finished, I watched like a whole bunch of reviews of it just to see what other people thought. Like Donkey hates it. He hated every minute of it. Angry Joe had a lot of problems with it. Jim Sterling was pretty down on it. The Giant Bomb people didn't really like it that much. And I thought that was really interesting because
all of those people didn't like it.
They had a lot of problems with it. They didn't like the style that was being put in front of them, and the story was really heavy-handed and everything, and like I totally get that, but like, what's up, Chan? You have something to say?
So are these like technical problems, or are these just like nitpicky problems?
Nitpicky problems of just the whole game system. There's technically not a single bug. Nothing stopped me or prevented me from playing and enjoying the game.
Well, it sounds like a lot of the better than a lot of games out there.
And that's honestly that for me that like instantly gives you a good mark in this day and age, because your game isn't stopping me from enjoying it, which is already a thing.
I don't know what these dudes are fucking prioritizing, but they're clearly not prioritizing enjoyment. I have so much more enjoyment from Death Stranding than I do this motherfucking Star Wars game. We'll get into it later.
We're going to get into it.
But, like, there is serious fucking issues with this motherfucking Star Wars game. And
we're going to talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later, but I'm not taking your thunder away.
I definitely had some problems, but mine were very different than yours, I think.
We're going to talk about it. Wait, hang on. I want to address what you were saying there, Felix. These reviewers, these like, YouTubers in the spotlight doing their game thing. The problem I think a lot of these reviewers have is they're programmed, I'm doing quotes, they're programmed to complete a game and dump their thoughts out as quickly as possible.
Right?
Yeah. As fast as possible.
This is not a game you time crunch like that.
This is not a game you're busting your ass through to finish as soon as possible. And when you try and do that in this game, it's going to kind of go, it's gonna put its hand out and be like, yo, slow down, stop what you're doing. Take in this experience. If you rush it, you're not going to enjoy yourself. Like Donkey's video, he showed countless clips of him falling over, trying to scale the environment like it's Breath of the Wild, and like just complaining about like how he just can't scale walls as easily. But he's not using the tools that the game provides you, like the scanner, which shows you the environment getting more rough.
Exactly.
It demonstrates the terrain getting rough, and the game provides you with ladders and other things and tools to get around the environment. And to me, he wasn't like in this like 7-minute video he put out, he wasn't using the tools that the game wanted you to use.
Yeah, he was doing it wrong. It wrong.
I mean, it's hard to say people are doing it wrong. They're going to play the game their own way, right?
I'll say it pretty easily. You don't have to say it. You can be diplomatic.
But yeah, I mean, like, but the thing is like the game wants you to immerse yourself in the systems, the social systems, the likes, the the isolation that you feel when you're playing it. And a lot of these reviewers, all of them, are playing these games at a breakneck pace so they can play the next thing that comes out, right? That's what they're programmed to do. That's why I said they're like programmed to finish a game and move on and not to take in what they're playing. And that's, I think, a really important part of this game.
I haven't checked it to confirm it, but I guarantee you the Forbes dudes probably like the game. I'd be surprised if they didn't.
I don't know if I've read their review yet.
I'll check in. And I'll get back to you on that.
But that's also why I think all these reviews are all over the place. This
what
game
is the average review right now?
Do you want to see the Metacritic? Metacritic.
Yeah, I'd be curious as to what the Metacritic is
for Death Stranding. The game is currently sitting at a 83.
Oh yeah, totally deserved.
Generally favorable. The user score is a 5.6, so it's a little bit lower on the user section.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, even Kojima had a comment last week that was like, I don't think Americans are going to really appreciate this. They prefer their shooters. So
are people just going into it not expecting something else? Like, is it a problem with branding, or
at this point, I
think it's a problem with hype, to be honest with you.
I mean, there's a lot of hype behind.
I mean, a lot of people would say that it did live up to the hype, though.
I thought it did.
You got fanboy Neo over here who's completely vindicated.
It lived up to my hype, and I got what I wanted out of the game, which was all I can possibly ask.
I was shocked at how much I liked that game.
And it's cool. Well, I'm not going to spoil any of the story stuff here, and I'll cut myself off here. But I gotta tell you guys, I really, this is definitely one of my games of the year right now. It's when we have our game of the year discussion later, like January or whatever. This is going to be probably one of my top picks. That's a little spoiler
for me. It's tied between Death Stranding and Control.
Control is one of my other ones that I'm very high on.
I don't know what to choose at this point. I have to play more of both of them to.
Felix, I would definitely try and. I mean, I know your game playing schedules is up and all over the place, but I would definitely try and finish this if you can.
No, I'm going to.
But I don't want you to rush it either. You know what I mean? Like I don't want you to.
No, I think next week I'm doing Control, and then maybe the week after that I'll be back on Death Stranding. So
cool. Well,
so I got one specific question and one general question. Is there a step counter in the game?
Oh, I wish there was.
There is.
There is
one. Yeah, in Kojima fashion, at the end of the game, at the end of the Metal Gear games, he gives you a rating, and he gives you an animal rating at the end of the Metal Gear games, and he tells you all your stats, like how many people you kill and choke out. They do that at the end of this game.
That's just like I should have
taken a picture of it, and I'm really sad I didn't know.
Is that like a Japanese gaming design choice? Because that happened in Resident Evil as well.
Resident Evil does it. Capcom games like Devil May Cry do it.
Yeah, it seems like it's a Japanese aesthetic. Like they want that. They want to know how many steps they took in the game.
Yeah, and they'll give you an S rating. Like that's a very Japanese thing.
Yeah. We talked about
some of those. Some of those
again?
where you had to do it in under a certain amount of steps or something, wasn't it? In Resident Evil 2.
Oh yeah, I went through that nightmare. I definitely got a bunch of those trophies for doing the steps thing.
You platinumed that game.
Yeah, I completely platinumed it. So
I can't believe
I had
that.
to have gotten all of them. Yeah.
That's I mean, that's a good game to platinum, but damn, it was a lot of work. That seemed like a lot of work.
Yeah, that was that one. I was trying to remember I don't even remember what it was called, but yeah, it was get it under 17,000 steps or 14,000. No, it was 17,000 steps, and I got it in 14,000, I think.
Mad props, man!
Yeah.
Wow, super mad.
The hardest part is when you're on that last boss fight where you're in that kind of octagon room, and the creature keeps ripping shit out of the floor and throwing it at you. In that space, you can use so many steps and completely ruin your opportunity. So you got to be careful. You got to learn how to kill that creature quick. So anyway.
So I've been reading a lot of reviews on Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Something keeps coming up. Does the combat in the game make it worse?
The combat is far from the main focus of the game.
Yeah.
It is, but by
a lot of complaining that I see in reviews is the combat.
It's nothing.
It just doesn't need even to be there.
So at the beginning of the game, you get you have a strand rope, which is you just essentially just choke people out, and then you just punch them, or you can like one of my favorite things to do early in the game was I would knock a guy out and his cargo on his back would fly in the air. You could do a quick grab with the triggers on the cargo, and then I would just nail another dude with that cargo and just bust it over their head.
You knock them out with the cargo. It's
with their own
great.
cargo, yeah. Another thing that
it took me a while
to do.
It took me a while to figure out the strand, Neo.
I know, me too. It took me like honestly like 20 hours to figure it. Like I didn't even like really know
you gotta hold it. It's weird. You gotta like hold it when you're near the guy, and then it works.
So you can use it as a deflecting tool. So if someone's coming at you and you hit the triggers, you'll knock them off balance with the rope. You'll just like kind of like toss them to the side. Then you can get them into the choke takedown. But Channing, by the end of the game, you actually get a wide variety of weapons. Like you do get guns and stuff, but the gunplay is not as good as like a Metal Gear Solid game. Like Metal Gear Solid 5 is way better feeling than this game when it comes to shooting. But you do get lots of guns and you get lots of tricks to deal with the BTs. Like the game becomes way easier to traverse later in the game. So like in the beginning, you're like a stumbling baby. Also very metaphorical here because this game is essentially a metaphor. But by the end of the game, you're a master of the terrain. You have all these stations built. You have all these tools at your disposal. It becomes a more clear and easy experience by the time you reach that end game level.
I was doing all right. I had the motorcycle, and those bastard fucking mules stole it from me and shit. I want to punch them.
Yeah, they do. Those mules. They love stealing things. But anyway, let's stop talking about this game. Let's talk about the game we're all playing, which is Jedi. Yeah, I think all three of us are playing.
Oh yeah.
How far did you get, Neo?
I'm like 15, 20 hours in. Probably more like 15.
Okay. Did you get? Do you have all the planets unlocked?
I don't know how many planets there are.
So far, there's 4 for me. I don't know.
Yeah, same.
I think the total is 4.
Then yes, I only have 4 as well. Okay. But I've only explored 3 of them pretty much. So wait, let me first. What's your impressions, you guys? Let's hear from Channing first as our guest.
Of course.
What's up, Channing? What is your thoughts on the Jedi game?
I feel like my thoughts are going to be much different than Felix's thoughts.
They could be.
Do you like Souls games?
So the only Souls game I played was Dark Souls 3.
Okay.
And I was a big baby and had somebody like hand walk me through the entire story.
That's good.
What's wrong with that?
I could not deal with it. I'm just like, this looks cool.
Like you summoned him into your game to play?
Yeah,
that kind
like the whole story. The whole story.
For Bloodborne, Channing, I created a channel in my Discord called The Backseat. And if you wanted to join it and tell me how to play the game, you're free to join and tell me.
Yeah.
So it's so complicated.
Star Wars this iteration of Star Wars is very Souls-like. But it's also, I didn't start on the hardest difficulty. I just started on normal because I want to get the...
Now, what do you mean when you say normal? Story?
Just the one that it started you out on.
I don't remember.
The second level.
Difficulties
the
are...
one that...
Yeah, so you have story, and then you have Jedi Knight, and then you have Jedi Master, and then you have Grandmaster. Jedi Grandmaster. So
I'm playing on Jedi Master.
You're on Jedi Master, and you're on Jedi Knight, you think?
Yeah.
That's what I'm on.
I mean, I'm enjoying it. It's a lot like the Dark Souls game where you sit down and meditate and all of the enemies respawn, but you don't have like a stamina bar where you run out of rolls. I mean, the only bar that you really have to deal with is your force meter. Mm-hmm. And I just unlocked something that kind of helps me with that. But the main thing, I know I saw this in your stream, Felix. The story is very lenient when it tells you can go and do, it tells you there are multiple options. So I'm like, there's this, kind of desert red planet over here that I haven't gone to yet. I'm going to go check that out. Boom, Night Sisters. I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. By the way,
lots of good Star Wars lore.
If you like Star Wars, the Clone Wars, or like any of those series on TV, this game is a huge fan service to that. I mean, it
takes place during the time period, right?
Yeah, just right after Order 66. So
right after
the Clone Wars have ended.
Yeah.
All of the clones have kind of disbanded in their Empire armor and everything. But there's so many like little lines, little dialogue lines that just give you fan service to that Clone Wars period.
Yeah, and they even have a few like the one character that's kind of, it's not, I don't think this is a spoiler, but like Forrest Whitaker's in the game, his character.
Yeah,
Saul Guerrero.
Saw Guerrero.
Yeah, but he's real young. He's like real young in the game.
Yeah, he's still got all his limbs. He's not breathing off of an oxygen mask.
In
Rebels, in Star Wars Rebels, he shows up approximately this age, right? And in Clone Wars, he's a very young man. You see him as a young man in Clone Wars, I believe.
That's cool.
So I'm really enjoying the combat because it feels really good when you can deflect a blaster bolt or
time it just right.
It's the best, dude. It's the best.
Just the most satisfying thing. And then you get the respawn wall running in there. I have not gotten tired of that yet. It's just so fun.
I think one thing that stands out to me about the gameplay is I like that you're not this like have you guys played Force Unleashed?
Oh yeah.
So one thing I like is like this isn't like the power fantasy that game provides you as like a Jedi Force user, right? This is like you are a learning young Jedi who is not all that skilled. You're not overpowered, and it actually attempts to make you feel like you're learning as the game goes. And it just feels really good that you're not like a this like godlike being, but an actual like kind of human. You're squishy, and the game's Soul's influence kind of like pushes that on you. And like without the stamina bar, which was always a hindrance in those Souls games, you're right. The Force powers are kind of like I want to say like in combat, they're like your crutch almost, right? Like you have to use them sparingly, but enough. Like I'm still early in the game, so I don't know how much better you get at using the Force powers or how much faster it recharges, but
you get great at it.
You get a lot better. So like at the point I'm in, it's like I need to pick and choose in combat when I use these things, and when it's like gonna suit me. You have to be more strategic in combat.
You're playing
and
Jedi
that feels
Master.
Really good. I'm playing Jedi Master.
Yeah, you have to really pick and choose.
Fucked. It's like really methodical. Like you can't be swinging that saber like a baseball bat. Like you gotta pick and choose those moments, and I like that. I like that a lot more than like the Souls games, for example, where it just feels like death is always going to come at you no matter what, and it's always out of your control. I feel more in control of my death here. Like I fucked up. The game isn't cheating me when I die. You know what I mean? It's not like
I did not have that experience right away because I like going out and kind of checking out different areas. I went kind of to the right of the first area and found that friggin' frog.
That frog, dude.
Just in the middle of the pit. I'm like, oh, all right. He's got a health bar. That's not good. So I fought him probably 3 times.
I watched you in your stream, Felix, like go just ham on that thing.
Yeah,
you can't go ham on that.
I could not beat him. I'm like, you know what? I'm probably not supposed to be here right now.
On Jedi Master difficulty, when I first started fighting that frog, I got him down to like this. I had to cheese a little bit by going into that little like alcove.
Yeah,
I remember.
But I got him to like this on Jedi Master. But then something happened where I like started losing my grip on what the mechanics were.
So he reset to his spawn location.
Yeah, and well, so
if I stayed too long, a lot of the enemies will do that.
I walked too far into that little alcove. Because I think that alcove is a path that just goes somewhere, and I walked too deep into it, and then he turned around, walked back, all his health came back, and I had used all of my stims, so I was like fucked. But I had him down to like this, man, and I was just like,
Felix, I don't want to upset you, but
upsetting me.
I beat him in my 3rd try on Jedi Master.
And fuck you.
That's basically where I stopped. I'm like, I died 3 times. You know, you're still like getting used to the combat, right?
Right.
On that first planet.
I think that first boss it's telling you that this game don't fuck around, right? It's telling you that, hey, this is a boss thing. It's gonna always be here. You can come back and it'll be there for you to earn. But it's telling you that the game will be punishing if you are not if you don't know how to beat it, I guess you could say, right? Like if you're not skillful enough. It's like a warning. It's a warning.
Something I would say is this game is 100% a Metroidvania.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It locks stuff off for you until you get upgrades for your
But
BD1.
the map does a really great job of telling you what not to waste your time on.
Yes.
The red highlighted
like,
things mean you can't do it because you don't have the power yet.
Even if you go up to something like there's some bells or whatever, it usually glows blue, saying you can use your force power on this. Even if you're right next to it, it's just glowing red. It's just like, yeah, don't bother.
Right.
You'll get it later, and it gives you good reasons to go back later.
Mm-hmm.
It was extremely interesting.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
design choice is probably one of the best aspects of the game.
Yeah, it makes
that and the force powers make sense. Like for storytelling, he's got force attunement or force echo, so he can actually the game can give you solid background and dialogue for a good reason, because it's already an established force power that people have.
Mm-hmm. I do like how this game is very it can be played linear. Innate, if you can just straight line the path of the story, right? But because the game lets you do your own thing and opens up for you, then you can honestly, everyone here talking about it are probably going to have a very different experience, no matter what. There's, I don't know if this is a spoiler, that extra, you can find an item that really early in the game that changes your combat up pretty easily. I don't know if I want to spoil it, but you can also find
Felix already did it with his.
He did, and the moment he did, I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta get that thing."
What did I do?
It's
so
an item.
When you go to was it Dathomir or something, to the desert red planet Night Sisters?
Yeah.
You get the. Are we spoiling?
Yeah, fine. It's mechanics.
You get the double lightsaber.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I've already confirmed
it
this.
Improved my game enjoyment to 800%.
Just so you guys know, I didn't get that on Dathomir.
What?
Yeah, it's on the first planet also.
I got it on Bogano.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got it.
That's where I got it. I know it's
in
very
the
different experiences.
abandoned workshop. That's when I got it.
Yep, that's where I found mine too.
It's not based on location. It's based on the point when. It's probably based on level, or it's probably based on how many times you've leveled up.
I think you can still find it there, but it's only accessible with a certain power on that. I forgot the name. The first planet.
Bogano.
Yeah, it's available after a certain power, but it will also you'll get it through story later on in the game. Yeah, I believe. Which it's funny that you got it very differently, Channing. That is honestly, very I think a cool thing.
I was just exploring, and it was just a random workbench, kind of in some caves down below. And I had fighting Night Sisters and whatever, and I'm just like, here, upgrade. I'm like, all right, cool. And I lost my shit. Holy crap! When that double blade came out, I could not believe it.
It's awesome, yeah.
It wasn't in any of the promo pictures or anything.
No. That's why I was worried about it being a spoiler.
So happy.
What, you're worried that we spoiled that for people?
I'm not too worried. If they're knowing what they're going to get into, I made the title Jedi Fallen Order.
Now they have something to look forward to.
We're not talking about the story, right?
We're not.
No.
Yeah.
It's a mechanic.
The story, by the way, is good too.
It is good.
It's got solid storylines.
To be honest with you, any mechanic that we spoil can help a person who's currently playing the game, who's wasting their time trying to find shit that they can't get to because they need a mechanic. The double jump mechanic.
I haven't gotten that yet.
No, I haven't gotten it either.
Right, but that's not a spoil because what that tells you is that you're going to get that, and there's shit that you already know in your head.
But isn't that a spoiler though? It's something that I wasn't aware that it was gonna exist. I knew that.
Honestly, I had no idea that was in the game.
Okay, well, somebody told me about it, and I thanked them for it. I was like, "Thank you for telling me about this, because now I'm not going to waste my time on those really long gaps."
Those giant gaps. DM me later on where you found that.
Those giant gaps. But I'm saying, I'm not telling you where I found it or what planet I found it on. That would be a spoiler. But I wasted time trying to figure out how to get over those giant gaps. And then a buddy of mine goes, "Dude, I saw you on your stream. Stop wasting time on those giant gaps because you're going to get a double jump later." And I was like, "Oh, fuck." Okay,
so Were you trying to get to that large
On
like
Pagano.
dragon serpent thing?
Right, no, I don't. You think you can ever get to that? But like, there's other areas around there. I don't think you can. I mean, maybe you can. I don't know.
I mean, with double jump, it seems like you could probably do.
Felix, are you talking about the fan room?
No, I'm talking about on
Oh,
top of
that
all those
confused me
mesas
too.
on Pagano, the first planet. On
Right,
top
yeah,
of all
it's
those
on Pagano.
mesas, there's these they look like broken bridges. There's one on one side, one on the other. Those can be traversed when you have the double jump.
It's just slightly out of reach.
Yeah,
Right.
just slightly out of reach. It
So yeah,
doesn't-
there's that fan room on Pagano, right? Do you know what I'm talking about, Felix and
Yeah.
Channing?
Yeah, like 2
So-
minutes into the game.
Yeah, you find it, but you really can't do anything yet there because you don't have the appropriate skills. So I was like, okay, I know I don't have the skill set right now to deal with this, so I'll have to come back. And that's just what the game does. Is when you get a new skill, it's pretty cool that you can use that Metroidvania. It's got that Metroidvania level design that lets you go back and get all those other goodies that you missed. Which the goodies are pretty much all the same things. It's all cosmetic stuff, right? No one's found anything different?
no.
I have not. No.
Yeah, it's all like you get lightsaber parts, which is pretty cool. I love the customization of the lightsaber stuff. Pretty sweet.
What's your favorite that you've unlocked so far? I mean,
Oh, I
what
don't
do you
know.
use?
For a while,
Do you know the
for
name?
a while, I made it. I don't remember the names, but I made it look like Luke's green lightsaber from Return of the Jedi for a
Oh.
while. So I did a very similar style to that. But they give you all these cool styles that are very familiar and a lot of new ones
the
too.
one I love is called Magnus. That's what. I
That's
use.
exactly what I'm rocking.
Yeah, the
With
Magnus,
the
man.
orange.
Hell
I use
yeah.
the orange. I use the orange because it came with the pre-order.
Yeah.
Green.
My buddy who
Green.
didn't pre-order, he was like, "How'd you get the orange?" And I'm like, "It's pre-order." He's like, "Fuck!" Like it's a true benefit to like pre-order this time.
I'm hoping to get purple later. I'm hoping I get some of that purple action.
I don't know if you get other lightsaber colors. I mean, I'm pretty far in the game and I haven't got any new ones.
I'm thinking one might come with like completing the game,
Maybe.
or maybe different levels come with different completions.
Oh yeah, different difficulties.
yeah.
That could be possible. Yeah. I don't know. I'm definitely.
Get like a
didn't
get
complete
dark
it yet.
saber for Grandmaster or something.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Or red.
Fucking
No,
no
I
way,
guess-
dude. No
Like, they
way.
wouldn't give you like a red one either, because that's like the evil color. You think they would give you that?
I mean, you're force pushing stormtroopers to their death over bottomless ravines. I mean, that's not
Yeah.
exactly
That's not
a
that's,
good thing.
That's an anti-Jedi. You're an anti-Jedi. You're not fully on the dark side, but you're an anti.
Play the way you want.
Yeah, this isn't one of those games where you can like go light or dark. You are a young Padawan Jedi. That is pretty much what you are.
Yeah, and that a lot of people going into the game thought it was going to play like what? What was that game called? It was called Knights of the Old Republic. Didn't you have choice in that?
Right. Yeah, you had light and dark
Light
choices.
and dark side.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah, that was more of like a turn-based thing, though. I was
Very
kind of thinking more
Very
like
RPG heavy. Yeah.
Jedi Academy-ish. Which, I mean, some of the scenery does really remind me of like Jedi Academy,
hmm
Jedi Outcast, a lot of those things.
What do
Those
you?
games you can make choices in like that. Dark and light.
Kind of.
See, I think of the Old Republic MMO, where making dark or light choices actually affects your character deeply. Like you can get started
yeah.
up, like and if you made dark choices in the Old Republic, Felix, your face would turn into like Emperor Palpatine's. Like it would like you would get those like dark wrinkles and your eyes would change and stuff. Yeah.
So in lieu of that line of thinking that the game is like this single story for a specific character that's canon, right? Do you guys have
Right.
any thoughts on why they cast the person to play that hero?
I was gonna bring that up.
Is this officially canon?
Yes, this is officially
yeah,
canon.
these are canon. Everything since the acquisition by Disney is canon, pretty much.
This is officially a canon storyline. That's why
I
Saul
don't know-
Guerrero showed up in it.
I don't know if they're gonna like weave this into the greater universe, and I honestly don't think they have to, because I like these standalone adventures. Like they're great like that.
They
Like,
don't
the
have
Mandalorian
to.
as well.
But they have, if this game does really well, they have an easy in because they hired a seasoned, like, star talent. Like,
Yeah.
Cameron Monaghan plays the
Jerome.
Joker on Gotham. And he
Mhm.
plays
Mhm.
whatever the Ian Gallagher, is that his name? On Shameless. So, like, he's a known actor.
What's his name again?
Cameron Monaghan. I think it's Monaghan.
Monahan, I got it. I
Like,
got him.
He could easily like take the character of Cal and move him to a movie, like in 2 seconds, because he's a known face. He can carry a production. Like, it's crazy to me.
That would be really cool.
Because if this is canon and he's already like a known player, it's no different than putting him right into. I mean, it'll be weird for audiences because they've never met him, but they could be introduced to him in the movie, and then like we know his whole journey because we played it here.
Well,
like, it's crazy.
This one makes sense because I know there's a new season of Clone Wars coming out. So, but that takes place, I think, way before his time. He would be a youngling.
But is that a cartoon or is that that? No,
It's an animated.
That's the animated cartoon. I'm saying live action. Like,
no, you're absolutely right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
I
almost
would
like you're
has
prepping
nothing,
him for it.
but
I was shocked to see Tony Amendola playing the Jedi Master who's giving you instructions and kind of leading you along the way.
He's from
like that is,
Stargate.
yeah.
I recognize him right away.
This is the
I
point I'm
recognize
making.
the voice. I'm like, oh,
Well, no, it's cool, Felix, because
quality
they can
people.
use this star power in these games that are recognizable, and it's really cool. Like Death Stranding does the same thing with all of its characters. But they could easily tie him in. I know right now for the movies, Kathleen Kennedy has said they don't know what they're gonna do after the new movie.
Right.
So maybe they can make a new trilogy
Which
with this
is-
guy involved.
so frustrating. She's
It's-
just like, we don't have any information to pull
Did you
from.
see
I'm
that
like,
quote
you
today?
lost your mind.
She said,
Yes, I did.
"We don't know. We don't have any comics or other things to pull from." And I'm like, "What the fuck? There's like 30 plus years of things that people wrote. You
There's a
could
whole
just
timeline. It doesn't
you could
matter.
pull things from."
No, if
yeah.
You've got like
if you're worried,
A plus style games like that made oodles of money. You've got an MMO that you could pull storylines from. Heck, you've got like full cutscenes from that time period,
Mhm.
like Old Republic style. I'm like, there's
honestly,
so much lore in there.
I think my idea, if I was a Star Wars producer or whatever, I would do a Game of Thrones style series, budget and everything. No, but hear me out. In the Old Republic, with deep characters and that kind of style of TV show.
So is the Iron Throne gonna be like who's?
I don't
Sith
mean
Lord?
I don't mean the actual story. I mean, when I say Game of Thrones, I mean like a deep character drama with lots of like a plot, like a running plot, right? That carries the story and carries the characters. Because like that's what Game of Thrones is. It's a very deep character drama with lots of conflict. Which the Old Republic, that's perfect. That is heavy characters, lots of characters that are really interesting, and lots of plot drama that you could pull from. But I don't know what they're doing at the helm of Star Wars right now in the movie section.
But
The games, this is great. This is a great game.
he's primed and ready. Like, we don't know. Like, they might have a secret deal where he does the game and then he ends up in a movie. Like, it could
I would
easily
love that.
happen. It could easily happen.
I would love, and I think they could easily do that. But like then again, back in the day when in Force Unleashed, who was that actor? Sam Witwer was playing Starkiller at the time. He could have been in a movie too, but you know, he's a big star.
But was that a canon game?
No, that was before the acquisition.
This is what
that
I'm
was
saying.
That was a LucasArts game.
Everything's different now
Yeah.
with the success of Marvel and all of their interconnections and the fact that they're going to be interconnecting TV shows and movies. It's not unlike Disney to go, well, we can connect a game to a movie, no problem. I mean, it
That'd be
fucking
really
worked
cool.
with The Matrix back in the day. Worked great with The
Yeah.
Matrix. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it did. It was
Most
alright.
of the people
It's alright.
who saw Matrix Reloaded didn't even know there was a whole other story that they could have played or
Yeah, the Enter
experienced.
the Matrix game.
Yeah.
That was a fun game. I mean, I don't know if it was amazing, but yeah, I mean, there is something to be said there where you can tie these medias together. The problem is you can't separate the moviegoers. The moviegoers need to be somewhat in the know because
No,
the game
he would
the
have
game
to be,
people
yeah.
are. That's the problem. You have to introduce the character in a certain
If
way.
he gets introduced, they
Yeah.
would have to give some of the backstory from the game and just be like, you know, this is what I was doing, this is where I was, you know, who, what, when, where, why,
Sure.
how,
Or
all
just
that
throw him
shit.
in as a cameo. You could just for the game people to
Just
go
for the
"Ooh."
game people. Yeah, but see,
Yeah.
that's kind of throwaway. He's a fucking full-on Jedi. I mean, he could be involved
Full-on
in some kind
Jedi.
of Jedi conflict. He has TV show experience. He doesn't even need to be in a movie. Motherfucker can show up in a TV show on Disney Plus.
That's what I'm saying. Make a TV show.
Yeah.
Like
He's
The
a television
Mandalorian, which
actor.
they're doing, but
He's
another
not
one.
They're busy dumping oodles of money into the Mandalorian right now.
Yeah, they really are.
He's not a tried and tested film star. He's a television star that's been doing well. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a little suspicious of their decision making here, but I'm going to keep watching and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that. So any more thoughts on the game though? We're talking about
Well, you didn't get my
movies and shit.
thoughts.
Yeah, dude, what do you think of it?
You said you had
Fucking hate it.
issues.
I fucking hate it. No.
Lay it
let's
on
go.
us.
What kind of issues?
No, I don't hate it. Okay, but you guys are clearly playing on PC, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of you are playing on PC.
I'm actually throwing it onto my TV from my PC though, so I can get the surround sound experience.
Hell yeah.
Is there a such thing as bad inputs, or am I just a bad player with my timing? Because when I try to input on this controller, there are issues with some of these jump puzzles. There are issues with like moments when I know I hit the button and the game didn't respond to what I did.
I don't think you're alone in that.
Okay.
Because I have been hearing that people have been having problems like reaching and grabbing ropes. Like sometimes that doesn't connect. The sliding feature, like when you slide down certain objects.
There's a wall running puzzle that's on Bogano that I don't need to go into detail. But like that wall running puzzle is a fucking nightmare to do because of the fact that there's so many steps and you goddamn hit them, and sometimes it doesn't register that you did it. And it's driving me, like, no pun intended, up a wall. Like it's fucking maddening, dude.
So I kind of know what you're talking about. When you first get force pull, it kind of has you like grab for a vine.
Yeah, so this puzzle incorporates.
I didn't understand it that you had to hold like the force pull. So I'm just sitting there tapping it.
No,
tapping
I wouldn't blame the game if I fucked up and didn't understand how to that I had to pull it. Like I'm not mad that they made a choice in how they designed a mechanic. Right?
So you think it's just skipping your inputs?
No, I literally knew how to do the function, and then I would hold the button down when I'm in midair, and the character would fucking not even respond and do anything, and it would just fall like a fucking stone. You know what I mean? Like I'm holding the button in. Where's the mechanic? Why isn't it working? And this was happening. It might be something unique to console, but like, man, it was a fucking nightmare. I was trying to do it today. If you watch my VOD today. Like it's maddening, dude, especially when they give you such a narrow margin of error on some of the timing of these puzzles. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, there's a votive puzzle on the Kashyyyk planet or whatever, the Wookiee planet. There's a votive puzzle when you get to this one tomb where you have to pick a votive up. Get this. You got to pick a votive up with your pull. And the votive has fire in it, right? And you have to walk from one room to like this area that has like a ledge and there's a slide. Then you have to slide down the fucking slide. And the minute you start sliding, it drops the votive. And the votive is still on fire and rolling. And then you have to wait until you get down to the bottom of the slide, turn around, and then when the votive falls off the slide, you have to grab it immediately, turn around and like light this thing on fire, right? This is such a not precise thing, and half the time I fucking did it. Do you
think there was a specific different mechanic that you were supposed to do?
No, because
are you sure that was what you were supposed to do?
Oh yeah. Because after a while, I said fuck it and just looked up how it's done, and I went, and there was no other way to do it. I thought I had theories that there was some other way to accomplish this on the other side of the map, because it's like a round room, and you can go out the other side or go out the one side that they said to do it on. And I kept trying from the other side, and it wasn't going to work. But anyway, I looked up the mechanic. I read a thing that said this is how you do it. But that votive would come down, rolling down the ramp path after me, and I would try and pull on it, and sometimes the game would just not even fucking do it. Like, I'm trying to pull. It's lit up blue, and it just won't pull to me. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening in this game?
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like,
and I do think you're not alone here, because I have experienced some of that, like just inputs not doing what I expect them to do as I've been told that they were supposed to behave, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen people online talk about it, like just discussing the game, like talking about how like sometimes like it feels like the physics isn't always doing what you're expecting it to do, right? Things don't behave that way. So yeah, I don't think you're alone there. And me personally, on my end, I've been having some performance problems. So my problem is I don't think I can stream this game without dropping a 1080p. Oh god, first world problems. Can't play.
It
on
is
my
beautiful though.
1440. I know, right? Like I can't play on my 1440p resolution if I want other people to watch me. But it does flicker. Like the game stutters in certain areas, and the graphics like turning. Like I can't turn off motion blur, and that shit drives me crazy. I always turn that shit off. But the motion blur, every time I do a hard turn, the game stutters for me.
Now the question I'm going to ask is not related to a spoiler, because this character is introduced very early in the game, so you're going to end up fighting her later. Did you guys fight the ninth sister yet?
Second sister, you mean?
No,
I watched you. No.
The ninth
I watched you.
The ninth
I watched
sister,
you fight him today.
Yeah, you watched me fight the ninth sister.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering if you guys did. I'm not going to.
I have not yet.
I'm not going to. I want you two to figure out how to fight that bitch. Like it's a complicated fight.
Okay.
I succeeded with it.
I love the challenges it poses, so it's like awesome.
I have no idea how you're going to do that on Jedi Master, dude. Good luck.
I can't wait. I'll tell you all. I'm gonna play it this weekend, so
that ninth sister fight is
go pretty hard.
Holy shit, hard.
Did you guys run into a kind of like a bounty hunter?
Oh yeah.
I did. So this is cool. You run into these bounty hunters, and they're random, dude.
Yeah, they do. They show
I didn't know what
everywhere.
was happening. He's just like, oh, he's got a health bar. Oh, you got to fight him. Oh, okay. Never seen this enemy before.
You start to fight him, and all right. So did you get knocked out by?
Yep.
Okay, so have you been knocked out by a bounty hunter?
You talking
Felix?
to me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've killed like.
Yeah. So what happens when they kill you? You don't die, right? Like, did this happen to you guys? Did they?
No,
kill you?
he basically just net shocked me, and he's just like, all right, we're putting him in jail.
I think that only does that based on a story mission the first time.
Okay.
It hasn't happened to me since, and they've shot me with nets. I don't know how many times. So I think it just happens the one time.
Where they throw you in a jail cell, and then you do there's like a whole event that happens.
Yeah,
so you haven't done that yet?
It's great. Yeah.
Channing?
Yeah, I've done that. Yep.
Oh, you've done. Okay, cool. I didn't want to spoil it. I'm trying not to spoil anything. Well, cool. Any other thoughts?
I don't want to. If we keep going, we're just going to start filtering out spoiled information.
Yeah, I know. I mean, overall, I think the game is really fun and pretty refreshing for a Souls game.
Like I said, so I didn't really give you my answer. No, I'm not. Like, I don't think it's the worst game, but because of these like weird technical glitches, there's no way I could give it Game of the Year. Like, I couldn't do it. But I do love like the mechanical and gameplay design choices that they made, that if they would work fluidly all the time, like it would have gotten, I would have given it Game of the Year, because it's that fucking, like, it's compelling. It's a really compelling Star Wars story, and it's a really well designed game,
Yeah, I agree. There's a patch coming out this week, Felix. I just checked. So
you think they're going to address my small concerns?
They're addressing flickering issues, and they're addressing dynamic. This is like a PC stuff, so I don't know what the patch notes are for a console, but they're fixing a lot of my problems, which is nice.
Yeah, good.
Slow loading times and all that good stuff.
All right.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts, Channing? You like it a lot?
I really do. It really scratches that Star Wars itch. I mean, best part, there's no microtransactions, no store to be found.
That's
you
great.
just get the story.
How did EA let that happen? Oh my god!
Well, I mean,
EA let it happen because Disney paid them a shit ton.
I was gonna say, do you think Disney stepped in, was like, "Yo, you're not fucking this up like you did Battlefront. Make it clean it up."
Especially with their current Star Wars productions.
Yeah,
right,
they don't want any PR.
I think
they want as good a PR as possible right now.
I think they're making, like,
I agree.
the release date is not an accident. They wanted this to come out at the same time The Mandalorian did. Because it gives people kind of a dip into two parts of the Star Wars world.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, they feed off of each other. They know that their Star Wars fans are also gamers.
Dude, we're also like a month away from the next movie.
Right.
So like this is like they want. I'm sure they released it now. Yeah, for a reason.
They got us all now. I mean, I already had my Star Wars tickets when this game came to me. You know, I was like ready to go. I'm ready to go to that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, this gets me excited for it.
And Disney Plus comes out with The Mandalorian and all the movies, so I can go in and now watch the movies. I could go through those fucking series if I wanted to, the Clone Wars, which ties into this game.
Good stuff.
So it's like it's all part of this goddamn elaborate Disney scheme to take money out of my pocket. And
it's working.
Yeah.
But, you know, seriously, props to them for being able to not inject all that EA bullshit that they love to inject.
Yeah.
And honestly, it makes every game feel so much better when you get a lightsaber part in game. Like, even though those are like the collectibles pretty much, right? Like, I mean, like, I like more lore stuff, right? Like, as a collectible, besides like the echoes that you find, which give you like little background on the area that you're in, right? But it's so refreshing to find a cosmetic in game. It reminds you what it was like before they tried to sell you all that shit, because that's what games were like. You unlocked the things that made you look cool in the game. So simple, but you know.
So we got two refreshing games breaking away from the norm.
Thank God. Yeah. Dark Souls is the same thing. Death Stranding. Damn it.
I knew what you meant. What you meant.
Death Stranding is the same thing. A refreshing, non-buggy, non-microtransaction to game, and it felt good. I felt like I got a product, just like this game.
I feel like we've been so mind-numbed to the fact that everyone's just trying to shove things down your brain.
Just nickel and dime you here and there.
We need you to devote all of your time to this. We need you to do this.
Yeah.
We need you to pay money for this. And I just want to enjoy the story.
Yeah.
We are refreshed by that because this game doesn't have it, but you need to understand something. This game has the backing of a giant, massive, like megalo shark of a company that wants this product to look pristine and clean. Mm-hmm. They don't want all that bullshit in there and they can set the budget.
Right.
So that
here's the thing. The game is going to sell regardless, right? Like, it's a Star Wars property.
And
These
games sell. I think that's what they're banking
anyway.
They're banking on. They're using this as a way to sell other products. It's an advertising tool. That's really what it is. And that's why they don't need. But that's what I'm saying. That's why they don't need all that extra shit in there, because they know that it's just going to fucking glide fine. It's good to go. These other games that are constantly relying on that business model don't have a guarantee that people are going to continue playing. And then the irony is a lot of us want to put these games down because this shit's dumped in there, and like they're relying on it because they're not making. I guess maybe they don't feel they're going to have a return on their investment. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's all comes down to ROI. They're all worried about ROI. But this game doesn't have to worry about ROI. Are you kidding me?
It does not.
No fucking way this game's ever going to have to worry about ROI.